Good morning, guys. Welcome to my class. My name is Mike. I'm your instructor today. Today I'm actually here to teach you how to assemble and identify all different type of dental X-ray rings. As you can see, you guys are student dental assistant, and very soon you guys will graduated. You guys will go to a dental clinic, and you guys will assist the dentist. And just imagine the first day that you go to your dental clinic. And your dentist will be like, hey, thank you for coming in. Before we get started today, I need you to sew this shoe. And you have this pile of mess in front of you. Like, what do you do? And that gets to the what we're going to do. Today, by the end of this minute lesson here, you should be able to identify and assemble different type of dental X-ray rings. So that's what we are trying to accomplish today. Now all of you has each different set of dental X-ray rings in front of you. So go ahead, just open it up and mix them together. Yeah, just mix them together. Yeah. So in front of you, you have many different type of dental X-ray rings, and as you can see, the first you can look at them. Like, what do you see? Like, what's the major thing that stands out?
Different color,
Yeah, they all have their different colors, and that's the easiest thing for us to do. In the dental equipment, almost everything is color coded, or at least we try to get everything as color coded as possible. So there are three major colors: the yellow, the red, and the blue. So let's just put all of the yellows into the yellow pile, all of the red in this pile, and all the blue in this pile. And the arms here, like the metal arm here, sometimes on the prongs here, there's this color code. Some of them has red, some of them has yellow, some of them blue. Yeah, that's the red one. So it goes into the red pile. And I'm gonna do the same here. Maybe. So we sort it up, and now that sometimes when you go into a dental clinic, their dental X-ray ring is actually very, very old. So they don't have color coding. They have something like this. Yeah, it's white. It doesn't have color coded on it. So this lesson, even though everything is color coded here, this lesson, by the end of this lesson, you guys can tell which is which, even though they are not color coded. Now, first of all, when you guys are assembling the X-ray ring, remember this word, a bar. So whenever you when you try to assemble the dental X-ray, you need to go to the bar. B as in bitap, which is this thing here. This is called a bitap. Okay. A for arm is the metal arm. R for ring, which is this big circle thingy here. Yeah. So just take out all of the rings. Yeah. Now, if we are not gonna worry about the color and just look at all these three rings, can you guys tell the difference?
Tell the difference between this one's offset.
Yeah, that's right. So like Jeff was saying, well, actually let's talk about the blue and red first. If you look at the blue and red, they're actually the same. Yeah, so which means the red one is a bi-wing ring, the blue one is an anterior ring. These two can be used interchangeably. So these two are actually the same. It's the posterior ring that we don't worry about here. Like Jeff was saying that how this one, the arm here, is actually off to the side. So this is how we know this is a ring for posterior ring. Alright? And let's look at the arm, the metal arm. Yeah. So if you look at the one that is straight with only the red prongs here, this is the arm for bi-wings. And the two other one is as you can see, this one is extended to the side. Now remember this, this one is for posterior ring. It's extended to the side. It's because when you put this on, when you put this into patient's mouth, it needs to go back to the very back of patient's mouth. That's why it has this arm extended out to the side. And the last one, even though it's straight, but it got a little bit of a curve here. This is the ring. This is the arm for anterior. And now all we have left is 3 different tabs. Now the biwing one is actually very easy to tell because it stands out from the other 2. This is the way it holds the PSP. You guys have PSP in front of you. This is how it holds the PSP. So the biwing one is very easy to separate it from the rest of the bite tab. Yeah, that's good. Now if you hold the blue bite tab and the yellow bite tab right out, okay, as you can tell, like one of them is wider, right? And one of them is actually longer. Yeah. So as you can tell, the blue one is actually longer. The reason that the blue one is longer is because the root of your anterior teeth, they are longer. They have longer roots. So to get to the roots of your teeth, the arm here needs to the back support here needs to be needs to be longer. For the posterior, the yellow one, the root of the posterior root is actually shorter, so we don't need that height of back seating support. And if you look at the bicep here, right, see how the yellow one is actually a lot wider than the blue one? So that's how you can tell that this is also a bicep for the molar. It's because the molar is a lot wider than your anterior, than your incisors. So when you bite down, the molar require a little bit more of a biting space than your incisors. So this is how you tell that this is a bicep for posterior ring, and this is a bicep for anterior ring. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try to, let's start with the anterior ring. So you all of us here are like right-handed. So let's hold the bicep with your left and hold the arm with your right. Yeah. So you want to put these 2 prongs here into this holes here, and you can try to put into the holes at the very back, but it's not gonna fit because the arm will get in the way. So you want to put it in at the very end here, and you will just slide right in. Some of them is actually quite tight, but the one that we have here should fit in snugly. All right.
Which way does it angle?
Sorry?
Just kind of like.
Yes.
How does it go? Like this way or like this way?
They okay. Yeah. Sorry, not the other way. Because if you were to assemble it like that, actually, you know what? Go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how it is. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and do it. That's fine. Yeah. And then let's try to put the arm. Let's try to put the ring in. Let's try to put the ring in. No, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So a good way to do a quick self-check, and it works for all of the ring, is when you look through your ring, your bicep is always in the middle. Your bicep is always in the middle. That's how you know you assemble this correctly. Yeah.
Wait, should this part be facing away then? Because then you put your PSP here?
That's right. This is how you put the PSP in here. So you know the way that you were using before? You were doing it like this? Yeah. So imagine, so see how that your bicep, when you look through the ring, your bicep is not at the center. And even if you have the, you have your X-ray machine shooting through here, you are gonna mostly get the metal arm. The metal arm is gonna get in the way, because if you put your PSP here and the X-ray ring comes in here, it's gonna get the metal arm. Yeah. So a good way to check is always when you, after you assemble it, when you look through the ring, the bicep is always in the middle. Yeah.
Does it matter which way you put this one in?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So once we assemble this is actually good for the upper teeth. It's actually good for the upper teeth and the lower teeth. So I have a typo down here. See, this is good for the upper, and I just have to flip it. That's good for the lower. Yeah. So this is how you assemble the anterior ring. Now let's move on to the bi-wings. Bi-wing is the red one, and then when you assemble it, you have your bi-tap with your left and your arms with your right. And when you put it in, make sure the opening here face away from the arm. Face away. Yeah. So if I have to do it like this, it is facing arm. I have done this wrong. Okay. Make sure you face away. That's good. That's good. And then we put the rings in. All right. And we do a quick check. The bi-tap is in the middle. Yeah. And you have assembled this properly. So if you were to take a look at this, see how I have I have a film here. I put it in this patient's mouth. It works for both patient's right side. The arm goes in here, and also on patient's left side. Yeah, and see, this is where the patient bite down. The film goes inside, like that. So both bi-wing ring and the anterior ring, once you assemble it properly, you don't have to change it because it works for both the upper and lower teeth, left and right. Yeah. Now let's get to the most trickier one, the posterior one. Posterior ones. Now I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with but sorry.
Another one.
Yes, that's right. So we actually have two. As you can tell right here, we're two one. Yeah, one is horizontal and one's vertical, right? Yeah. So that's actually for horizontal bi-wing or vertical bi-wings. So for the vertical one, you can put this into patient's mouth like that, and you will take a vertical bi-wing. Yeah. For the horizontal one, see how this is vertical? Vertical. For the horizontal one, you put that in, and this it will take a horizontal bi-wing. See how the horizontal bi-wing right here? It's horizontal.
So the horizontal one is more for the back end?
Yeah. So no, actually the horizontal one and the vertical one, they're all for the posterior teeth. It really depends on how the dentist want it. If the dentist just want to see the contact opening of each teeth, they'll just say, you just get a horizontal bi-wing. But if you want to see more of a root for the teeth, they'll ask you to use a vertical. Yeah, so you get more vertical space. So that's why you have two arms. Majority of the time, I would say 90% of the time, we always use a horizontal one. Because for to see the roots, to see the apex of the roots, we'll just use a periapical film, which we will use for the posterior ring. Alright, now the last one. Okay, so before we get to the posterior one, so before we get to the posterior ring, we know that we divided by the teeth into 4 quadrants. So separate in the middle and top and bottom. We started from quad 1, quad 2. So if you raise your right hand, on your upper right is quad 1. Move over quad 2, down quad 3, over quad 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how us as a dental assistant tell. So if your dentist say that, hey, take a PA on the motor of the quad 1, you will know that it's on the patient's upper right, and say PA on the motor on quad 4, that is on the patient's lower right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you always start it on so you always start it on your right. You always start it on your right side, the upper, and move all the way in a circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now continue with the posterior ring here. Again, you can hold the bicep with your left and your and your arm with your right. Now see how it can go in any of our holes. So it actually depends on the patient's mouth size. If patient have a smaller mouth, you can put this arm at the further back, close to the back here. This is because that if we do put this into a patient's mouth, it will require bigger of the space. Say if a smaller patient, let's just move this back, so that they have less thing in. They have like less. They need to open a little bit less. Now we'll put the arms and the bicep together. We're just trying to put the rings in. Right. And also a quick check is your bicep is in the your bicep is at the center. So you got it right. Yeah. But a lot of time people Jeff, sorry. A lot of time people flip this over, but when you look at it, it's slightly off center. So you guys can see it's slightly off center here. Yeah, all you have to do, just flip it over. Just flip it over. There you go. Yeah. So this is good for rings on quad 1 and quad 3. So see how patient's quad 1, and if you flip it over, that's good for quad 3. But this is only good for quad 1 and quad 3. It cannot be done for quad 2 and quad 4. So let's see the same thing. If you're gonna move it over to quad 2 here, upper right. This is a type of dome. But if I were to do this in a real life patient, this will be inside the patient's mouth at the very back. I'll be gagging the patients. So to do this, to go to quad 2 and quad 4, all you have to do is just take the arms out, put it in on the other side, yeah, and then flip the ring over. There you go. Now this is good for quad 2 and quad 4. All right. So why don't you guys take 3 minutes, and why don't you guys take 3 minutes, please assemble them, mix them together, and see if you guys can put them back. Like see if you guys can put it all in. You guys can separate them correctly and put it all in its own pile and try to assemble it properly. Let's do a quick 3-minute practice. And this is always a good self-check. If you look through the rings, if it's at the center, the biceps at the center, you have assembled the ring properly.
What's the use of having extra ones up here if you can't put it down far enough?
Oh no, because the way that it is manufactured, the way they make this is actually the same. So the mold is all the same. So for the ease of manufacturing. Good. All right. So take them apart. Hang on, what? Let's do a little mini test. Let's try to assemble the anterior ring for the lower teeth. So anterior ring, let's assemble the anterior ring one again. But this one, do it so you can take the X-ray for the lower teeth, lower incisor. So if you do, and so when you're done, show it to me. If you were to put this in patient's mouth, how would you position it? All right, good, Jeff, you got it. Good job, man, you got it too. Good. Now let's do the bi-wings. Yeah, let's assemble this so that it's good for patient's left side. Yeah.
Full or just horizontal or?
Oh, it doesn't matter. But let's do horizontal. So which means you can put the PSP in there, so you can tell if it's a horizontal or a vertical bi-wings. Yeah, just need to slide in there. Yeah. Good job, Frank. And Jeff, you should make sure your bi-tab is facing the other way. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Good job, Hank. There we go. You got it, Jeff. Nice. Okay, the last one is the posterior ring. So let's assemble this for quad 3. So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. You assemble this for your lower left side. For your lower left side. Got it? So you have to put this in. Great, perfect. Yeah, you got it. Nice, great job. Okay, so you guys all got it. That's very good. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome students. Now that before I let you go, I want you guys to show you something. Some of the dental clinics are actually very new. So they will actually give you something like this. So they only have one arm. For the bite tab, they have 3 different bite tabs. See this thing? Yeah. So see how there's 3 different color gold. The blue is still for anterior, red one is still for bi-wing, and the yellow one is still for posterior ring. So if you were to say do a posterior ring, how the prongs here shall red, and both the blue and the yellow are share the same prong. So let's say you're assembling the X-ray ring for the posterior. You just put the posterior ring in here. There you go. So this is good for quad 1 and quad 3. And if you just want to say, hey, let's do quad 2 and quad 4, just flip this over. And you're always good to do a quick check. Make sure the bite tab is in the middle. Then you're good for quad 2 and quad 4. Same thing for the bite tab. There you go here. Again, this opening here face away from the arm. So we're good here. There you go. This is ready for bi-wings. And last thing, I just want to demonstrate this anterior one. There you go. For anterior. Both top and bottom. Yeah. So sometimes in your clinic you see all different kind of you will see all different kind of X-ray rings. Majority of them are separate in. Majority of them are color coded into blue, yellow, and red. But sometimes you come across this one, all you have to do is just look at the white tab through the ring. As long as they are in the center, you have done this properly. Alright, that's it for today's lesson. Do you guys have any questions? No? Okay, that concludes today's lesson. Thank you guys all here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.